folks. Welcome to another year and another semester of Mr. H's weekly recap, where we try to give you a rundown on what's going on in room 1925 here at the high school. We didn't offer up a recap this past week, the first week of the semester, because we were having a little bit of technical issues, but also I was having a little bit of issues with my voice, so it's starting to come back. I apologize for kind of the low-sounding, raspy-sounding voice that we have today. We're hoping it'll clear up here very quickly. We're also pretty excited here at the high school since it is Blue and White Day. We got our home opener tonight in football. My buddy Alex back here is really excited about the NFL season opening up, and of course he's decked out in his Eagles green and E-Town gear ready to go. So what we're going to try to do is give you a quick little rundown of what's been going on both in our Gov classes and also in our Honors World History class. And try to get some information out to you guys that would be pertinent for the coming week. First things first, next week is Parents' Night. It'll be on Wednesday night, the 13th, from about 6:30 to 8. So please come out, please say hello. If you're curious about the courses here, we encourage you to come. We'll be giving out information and also talking about some of the resources that we've kind of exposed your students to thus far so that they can be successful this semester. And we'll also kind of talk a little bit about, content we've been covering as well. The other side of it also is next week is also going to be Constitution Week. Constitution Day is Sunday the 17th, and that commemorates the 230th anniversary of the United States Constitution being signed and sort of put out to the American people. So we're going to be doing a couple different activities, particularly in my Gov classes, to commemorate the week. We're going to be working on a project. We have a debate that's going to be coming up on Friday that kind of ties in with some of the stuff we'll be looking at with economics, but also kind of tying that back to the preamble of the Constitution. And so a lot going on and a lot you can kind of look for, especially on my website and also on Google Classroom. So let's talk a little bit about our classes. First class I want to get into is the Gov and Econ class. We've started off the year kind of with a little bit of getting to know you, but also getting into our Econ unit. The first week of school, we did a lot of economic terminology, kind of talking about scarcity, opportunity costs, things like that. And now we're starting to get into some theory. This week it's been mostly about economic systems, talking about the polar extremes of that, talking about command economics, but also about laissez-faire capitalism, kind of the classic economic theories that are out there. And then we're going to start using that as a transition into macroeconomics, talking a little bit about mixed economics with the United States, kind of what makes it sort of a desirable economic model. And then next week we'll be getting into a little bit of monetary policy and fiscal policy, talking about how government plays a role in our economy as well. So look for that. We're going to be doing a lot of different things. Students have already started working on some assignments, kind of looking at some readings online about economic systems and kind of how the transition between economic systems isn't always the smoothest. For the Honors World guys, we're in the midst of talking about DBQ writing and also about culture and how you study it. For the DBQ writing, this is kind of a form of writing that a lot of times you see at the collegiate level, but also you see in our AP classes. So these honors students are going to be the ones that are going to be sort of the prized recruits from our AP history classes. So we're trying to expose them to a little bit of that, let them see what it's all about, and also they will get a chance to do their own writings later on this semester. And as far as our culture unit goes, we're in the process of looking at the 7 elements of culture, how you study culture, looking a little bit at anthropology, and we kind of ended the week looking at some of the dangers you have to be aware of when looking at culture, stereotyping, ethnocentrism, kind of encouraging students to keep an open mind as we look at many different cultures and historical events around the world, and don't always assume that the American perspective is the right perspective. There's always more sides to a story than history books tell you. And that was actually one of the topics we looked at on Wednesday with our student seminar. Historians disagree. Why do they disagree? And, is there one narrative to history? So kind of an interesting discussion we had there. As always, we encourage parents and students to sign up for our reminds, which are basically free text messaging reminders about what's coming up, tests, quizzes, things like that. We also encourage parents, you probably received in your inbox an invitation to join us on Google Classroom and kind of get a monthly or weekly report on what your students are doing, what assignments are coming up. We encourage you to sign up for that. We also encourage you to keep watching these videos as they appear and just kind of reach out if you have questions or concerns, email being the best way, but also the phone lines are open as well. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you guys next week.